Okay, so this is 6.13 energy conservation. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe methods for conserving energy. And we're going to do this two ways. First, we're going to describe ways that we can conserve energy around our homes, and then describe ways we can conserve energy on a larger scale. So small scale versus large scale energy conservation. So at home, we're talking about things such as lowering your thermostat, using less heat, use less air conditioning, conserving water, and using energy efficient appliances, and then comparing that to things we can do large scale, which is improving the fuel efficiency of our vehicles, subsidizing, incentivizing electric vehicles, the charging stations, or using hybrid vehicles, and then increasing the use of public transportation. So let's first look at energy efficient appliances. An Energy Star certified washing machine, so you're probably familiar with the Energy Star logo, uses 40 to 50% less energy and 55% less water. So you can get energy efficient washers, dryers, refrigerators, light bulbs, toilets, shower heads. These things all use significantly less energy consumption. And just by changing your washing machine, you can lead to $50 per year of savings on utility and your water bills. You also can use what we described in a previous video, which is passive home design. So you can use conservation landscaping techniques where you're using the materials of your house and the types of landscaping you do around your house to block or take advantage of the sun's heat. Or you can use it to keep heating and cooling inside or outside to decrease your overall energy required. So if we look at the picture in the top corner, we can see that they have evergreen trees planted in the backside of the house to block the wind. So that's going to keep your house warmer because you don't have the wind constantly hitting the house. And then deciduous trees in the front, which shade the amount of sunlight coming in so your house doesn't get as hot. So when we talked about the value of trees and the various things that they provide for us, one of these is energy savings and reducing our need for heating or cooling. Additionally, one that's talked about a lot is water conservation. So there's a couple different ways we can conserve water. We can plant native plants, so plants that are found locally in an area which require less water than something like a traditional lawn, which is not found naturally anywhere on Earth. Benefits of native plants is they also increase the biodiversity of pollinators and use less fertilizer because they're adapted to grow in these conditions. You can use low flow showers, toilets, and dishwashers. They use less total water and therefore they use less energy. And then you can also use rain barrels to collect rainwater for watering plants or washing your car. But keep in mind that rain barrels are illegal in some areas. So before you consider that, you should make sure that they are legal. Here's a couple different campaigns, one released by Boston University, the other the City of Columbia, to get people to consider taking shorter showers. So a 5-minute shower is best, and if a family of 4 does a daily 15-minute shower for 365 days a year, that's $500 per year in the cost of water and electricity. So large scale, we can look at energy conservation in transportation. So we're comparing a Prius, a hybrid vehicle that gets 50 miles per gallon, with a traditional Ford F-150, which gets 18 miles per gallon. We see that the total cost with road usage charges is only $862 for the Prius and $2,049 per year for the Ford F-150. This is important because 28% of the total U.S. energy comes from the transportation of goods and people. So to make sure that businesses are considering the importance of fuel economy, there's something called the Corporate Average Fuel Economy Standard, which regulates that auto manufacturers must meet certain, that should say mile per gallon standards or pay a penalty. So you can't make this awesome truck that gets like 2 miles per gallon without paying a big penalty. These days, companies can't afford to take those penalties. We also have electric and hybrid vehicles. So electric vehicles, EV or BEV for electric vehicles. Hybrid vehicles are those that have gasoline and electric engines, which enable them to have overall higher mile per gallon ratings because the brake system is what's used to generate the electricity for the electric engine. And then we have electric vehicles such as the Tesla or the Leaf, which use absolutely no gasoline, but as the name implies, they do require energy to power. So they are really only as sustainable as the electricity source. So if you're using sustainable renewable energy sources to power your Tesla, then that is a much different impact than using coal-generated electricity. Another thing we can do on a large scale is encourage people to use public transportation. So here are some supposed hidden savings of public transportation. Interesting enough is that 37 million metric tons of CO2 are not released when people use public transportation. And 340 million gallons of fuel can be saved due to less congestion because of public transportation. So sitting in traffic does decrease your overall fuel mileage. My favorite is the green building design. So we can encourage groups building large buildings to use green building design techniques, such as incorporating green roofs or green walls. That's one of my personal favorites, because we know that green roofs decrease runoff and absorb the sun's heat, which reduces the energy needed to cool the buildings. It also reduces our overall urban heat island effect. Remember that the plants do not heat up as much as a black roof does. We can also use the sunlight on the roof or windows to decrease electricity needed for lighting. We all know I hate turning the lights on, so I like to use the natural sunlight to light up a room. And we can also use recycled materials, which reduce the energy required to produce new materials for building. This one's not as common, but is starting to catch on. And that is energy conservation.